Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Baku for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. This street circuit is, I believe it's approximately 6 kilometers long, including a 2-kilometer stretch from that corner you see right there, the final actual braking zone, all the way down to turn 1 for the front straightaway, where the cars are reaching well over 200 miles an hour in qualifying trim and in the race with DRS. We have 19 competitors here tonight for Tier 3 of the Breakout Racing League. I am your host, once again, Ferrari 94, BRL Williams, or as the guys know me, Owen. And then I've also got my co-commentator, Toxin HB, beside me once again. Toxin, how are you doing this evening?
Doing fantastic, Ferrari. Sorry I've been away for the last couple of weeks, but I am ready to get into this race and see how everyone's been doing so far.
As am I. You'll have to forgive me for the slight pause there, here and there. Currently still trying to finish my dinner because I literally just sat down from work to try and start doing this. So, qualifying, 18 minutes. Go ahead and get the track map and everything up. So how many people do you think we will see caught out by the infamous Turn 8 here tonight?
You know, in qualifying with all the pushing, I can see a couple people definitely hitting it, but here in the race, I only see maybe one or two. You know, it's a corner that is definitely able to catch anybody out. But I think if you're playing it cautious, at least in that corner, everyone should be doing pretty fine tonight.
Yeah, tell me that, and I ended up binning it on lap 1, breaking the wing off.
Oh no!
Yeah, that didn't go as planned. I started on the hard tire from P11. Thought I was being Mr. Smart Fellow right there. Got somebody off the line, so I was already up to P10. That's the thing. I actually passed somebody off the line on the hard tire. Don't ask me how that worked. Yeah, got to turn 8, just absolutely went straight. Just it would not turn, and I wasn't even trying to push the car. So, note to self and to all our viewers, don't start on the hard tire at Baku because the thing just does not heat up. Matter of fact, I would say if you can avoid it, I would say try and avoid it, if at all possible. Obviously, sometimes the strategy is not conducive to that, but if at all possible, avoid the hard tire. So here we are looking at ARS Guido, who is the second car out on the track. The guy in front of him is... trying to see who that is, actually.
I believe Joe, first on as well.
It is Joe. Joe, first man out on the track here. Coming down to the start-finish line, you can see right there, 35 kilometers per hour at the line, almost 340. So, getting on at a right old clip. Right out to the edge of the track limit right there on turn 1 over the curb. That is exactly what you want to do. Same thing with turn 2, right out to the wall. Pretty good exit there for Joe. Not a bad start to the lap for him. Let's see what he can do down here at turn 3. This is one of the more difficult braking zones on this track, and actually hits it quite well. Nice exit down to turn 4. Looks clean. Let's see if it's fast. This corner right here. This little set of corners that we've just gone through with Joe here, I don't know why, but for me around this track, that is the hardest place to just get into a rhythm, because you've just come off these 2 massive straightaways, and I actually, at turn 5, towards the end of the race with a couple laps to go, actually pretty much almost went straight on, with no real rhyme or reason as to why. I just missed the braking point, which is highly unusual for somebody like me to do that. And I don't know if it's just the lighting or the track or the surroundings or something, but something about this place makes it very difficult to... Oh, Guido's out of the session. He's hit the wall. Oh, yeah, he hit it hard.
Trying to find it on track.
There we go. Hop on board with Andrew. Oh, it's already disappeared. As Joe sets the fast time at a 1:39.095, but yeah, he hit the wall in the fast section Sector 2 after the castle pretty hard. Middle of the way down that, as SSR Zampa now leads the session. Not sure what that's all about.
Trying to get him back in here.
Alright, so Guido coming down to possibly start a second lap here. Invalidated the first one in the Ferrari. Loki and Groggy, the two Renaults, have set times. Loki on the medium tire, which arguably I think that's the better strategy to go for overall in the race. You're going to lose out in qualifying, as you're going to be, as you can see, he's almost 3 seconds off the top time so far as Dark Ice Racer in the Alfa Romeo, so it's 139.9. And now Q-Man in the other Alfa Romeo, so it's 140.8. So pretty good range of times going right here across Tier 3.
Luke Weaver jumps to third, 40.7 there. Yeah, I agree. Definitely a lot of different times, and Rawlings even there on the mediums with 40.3. It's a good lap there from him.
Heatwave jumps to second. Watching Andrew go through the castle section, you can't even really call that a street. That's an alleyway. It's not even a street, it's an alley. Racing Formula 1 cars through alleys. Not exactly what I would recommend. Personally, I'm not a big I just don't see how people do that. How is that even physically possible? I still can't wrap my head around how people bounce over that curb in Sector 2 before the end of it. I never have really figured out how to do that myself, and I'm just like, why is that even a thing? If you did that in real life, it would rip the floor off the car and or bounce you into the wall.
Absolutely.
I think that, Cody's, if you're listening, make that curb a lot more aggressive the next game.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's a huge
times a little different
curb.
But as you're saying, or as we were on there with Andrew, he did jump a pole, 38.7 lap there from him.
And that was actually on a second lap on those soft tires, so he'll be wanting to go out and do a one-lap run, because they do wear out quite quickly here. So that's impressive that he is able to even go 3/10 quicker than Joe has on a lap older tire. Alright, so current top three, Andrew, Joe, and Heatwave, followed closely by Dark Ice Racer, isn't Dark Ice making his first start in the series?
I unfortunately missed the last couple of weeks, but this is definitely the first I've seen of him, and it's always
it's the first I've seen of him. It's the first I've seen him as well. I did not do Monaco last week. I had some professional commitments to handle that I was not planning on. So I missed whatever happened last week as well, so you are not the only one.
No, one thing I'm surprised so far, we're about 7.5 minutes into this session, and I believe it's 17, so yeah, 7.5 minutes, and only half the grid as set of time.
Yeah, that's something I don't really see why a lot of these guys do. They literally just sit in the garage and just let the session roll by, and then go out and do one lap. I mean, if it gets you up to the front of the grid, still fine. It's all well and dandy, but you know, I'm the type, I like to have those 3 laps to, you know, run a banker, run a pusher lap, and then run a just absolutely ballistic, just hang it out and see what happens kind of lap.
Yeah, it's always good to get a banker
usually
in
my
there.
method.
You know, just in case lap, something goes wrong, you have a little time that can hopefully get you in the top 10 somewhere nice.
Exactly. Always nice to have that little bit of a cushion to fall back on. Take a look down here. Max Facetaste is coming up to finish a lap right now, and I believe he is actually going to jump up right behind his teammate at a 139.078, so that is just a hair in front of Joe, but it's currently a Ferrari 1-2 here at Baku.
As far as
Down
I'm
the order
concerned, they've been looking great all season, so not really too much of a surprise to see them both out there.
No, things have not always gone their way, though. But for the most part, they've been both pretty quick. Looking here at Weiser Square, another guy who's typically pretty... Oh, he gets a big slider on there when he puts the power down out of the castle section. Coming down here towards the end of Sector 2, he's out on the medium tire, so maybe he's hoping to run that alternative strategy. That should have been an invalidation. How did that not invalidate him? Loki's hit the wall. We're actually coming up to that here with Weiser Square, so we should see his car off to the side of the track. Hopefully it's ghosted out and not in the way. It's out of the way enough. Face-Taste retires in this session in second place. I think he's hit the wall at the castle, actually. Yep, Face-Taste did in fact hit the castle wall. Fluky Flower also retiring from the session.
I think he was just in the pits. I think he's just, I don't see anyone on the track that he hit. So I guess he was just...
Weiser Square has moved up to P11 on that medium tire, and Joe retakes pole position with a 138.5, so good lap from the Haas driver there. So currently 13 drivers out of the 19 we have out there have set a time. Two of those 6 that have not set a time will not get to set a time. So Guido and Fluky Flower will make up the back row of the grid, barring any penalties from the session. As we see Trace Me knock a piece of the wing off there. He is on an out lap, so that's not doing him any favors right there. He's on the medium tire too, and that's, yeah, his car's just all over the place right now. Looks like Redeemer finally on an out lap here in the Red Bull. Going to make 1, maybe 2 attempts at it, depending on how quickly he can. I think he's going to be a 1 and done here. Maybe do 2 laps on this set of tires if he wants a second crack at it. But that's the thing, is you're leaving it real late there. If anything happens, you're kind of going to be a little bit up the creek without a paddle.
On board here between Heatwave and Dark Guys. They're both driving on the same spot here. I think they were both a little up on their time in the first sector. See how they come in second. Heatwave pretty much identical on his time.
And now Andrews retired from the session. Looks like he has caught the wall at turn 8 as well, riding along with Silkweaver here. And it looks like, yes, the same thing has happened. Oh, and yeah, he got all the way around, so he hit it a ton going through the castle section. So currently the Ferrari drivers who were first and second, it's now the Haas's that are first and second, and the Ferraris are third and fourth. Meanwhile, looking down here at LDR Redeemer, he is coming down to start his first flying lap with only 4 minutes 37 seconds left in the session. So yeah, I believe this is going to be the only run he gets unless he does 2 laps consecutively here.
DaCosta coming up to line, he's about a half a second up here. See how much exactly he can improve.
And he's going to jump up to P7, so he picks up a couple of spots there. The tow around here is a very big thing, and I haven't really seen a whole lot of people taking advantage of that. Are you a little bit surprised by that, Coxon, that it's at a track with such a prominent set of straightaways that we haven't seen the tow?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, it's just very prominent around here, and you know, especially that huge straight. Yeah, exactly. Even that little second straight, you can gain a lot of time there. So definitely surprised not to see it used by a couple teams.
Right. You say little. That second straight's still pretty lengthy. It's still a good 3/4 of a kilometer long.
Correct. It's just compared to that first straight, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, apples to oranges, but still, it's a pretty good size straightaway. I think it just we kind of underappreciate exactly how long this main straight is here, as Redeemer coming through the final couple of corners. Just because by the time you even get out of the final corner, you're already doing 200 miles an hour. And you just carry that all the way down this straightaway. Like you're doing 200 miles an hour for a good kilometer and a half almost.
Redeemer jumps to P7, and Q-Man even jumped up to P9 there for a second until Redeemer came through. Put on really good laps there.
Got just in front of his teammate. And I think that is going to be his session done. Looking now at Mad Marlin, who is coming up, I believe, behind. No, he's actually just in front of Redeemer on the track.
A little deep
getting
there.
very slidey. Yeah, he's on a quick lap. Just a little bit down. SSR Zampa now joins the session, so if he wants to get out and get a lap in, he needs to go now.
I thought I saw him join back earlier. I tried to get him in here as fast as I could. My apologies.
Oh,
Ooh.
and yeah, Marlin got balked big time there by somebody, one of the alphas.
Yeah. It's Q-Man, just really had nowhere to
Q-Man.
go, but just unfortunate timing. I mean, I'm sure Q-Man didn't mean to get in his way like that, but
Yeah, I think Q-Man's actually out of fuel.
Fortunate for Marlin there. He's done a good lap, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Q-Man's actually run the car out of fuel here. And that is why he was unable to stay out of the way of Marlin, because Marlin was on an okay lap, might have been improving just a little bit, but then that just pretty much put the nail in the coffin. He's got another car coming up behind him here. Does Q-Man stays off to the driver's left as the other Williams of, I believe, Weisersberg comes through. Weiser's on the soft tire now, so looking to improve his starting position as both the Haas are going out one more time. If I was the Haas team, I'd be like, yeah, let's just sit on this, but they're not going to do that. So we'll see what Weisersberg can do as he comes down to the line through the final corner, over 320 kilometers per hour. This place you can really tell very easily who is running less downforce and who's running more downforce, because the top speed difference is a good 10 kph. Gets in front of his teammates, so it's currently Haas, Ferrari, Williams. If Zampa, who is in the pits, could have gotten up there to P7 or P8, we would have literally had the field almost sorted entirely by teams.
Yeah, we've had that few times this season where it's had a couple teams up there at the front, but
yeah, but if he would have been able to get to P7 or P8, it literally would have been Haas, Ferrari, Williams, Mercedes, Red Bull, Alfa Romeo. As now Boosler breaks up that party. His teammate Guido out of the session quite early.
I was actually also on 2-lap runs, so really good lap there for Boosler.
Very, very good lap there. Kind of the same thing as, let's see, who, I think it was, who did that 2-lap run earlier? I think it was Andrew.
Or Andrew.
No, it was Andrew. Yeah. So, pretty good showing there from both those guys. So session is over, flying laps are counting here. Let's look at both the Haas cars as they come through the castle section for Rawlings, and Joe is currently coming around the second straightaway, as it looks like Rawlings is heading up towards the final corner. He's actually almost a couple of tenths up, so looking to improve that pole position time he's got already. I mean, the man's already gone quicker than I did in qualifying. I did a 38.7, but then again, apparently I'm just hot trash around here.
Yeah, Joe aborts his lap there.
All right, so you are looking at the man who... Oh, and Rawlings just... He hit the wall a ton there. Gotta wonder if that's going to prevent him from improving the lap. It's certainly not going to help his downforce levels any, but in a straight line that might actually help. He does in fact improve it still to a 38.2, so pretty good job there. Hit the wall a ton. Could have probably got down to a 38.1 or 0 if they hadn't had that happen. Dark Ice Racer, I believe, the only other driver on a flying lap, aside from Heatwave, I think, is on a flying lap here.
Yeah, he aborted. Groggy's on his lap
invalidated
as well.
So Dark Ice is the only guy, I think, on a flying, aside from Groggy.
Groggy's coming in the line now. Does not improve, stays P14.
And Dark Ice Racer does improve, picks up 1 spot to get in front of DaCosta.
All right. We have our running order here tonight.
We do indeed. So, Haas lock out the front row, Ferrari lock out the second row, and then you've got the Racing Point of ARS Booster, followed by the 2 Williams of Weiser Square and Mad Marlin, the Mercedes of Heatwave, and then the Red Bull of LDR Beamer, the Alfa Romeo you're looking at there of Dark Ice Racer, and the Red Bull of DaCosta Browns in 11th, followed by Q-Man Carrillo in 12th, Silkweaver in 13th, Broggy Oregano in 14th, Non-Ripe Loki, his teammate, just behind in 15th, Trace Me in 16th, Fluky Flower in 17th, Zampa in 18th, and Guido in 19th, all not setting times.
Yeah, unfortunate to see a couple early clash routes there.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Loki, only man to set a time on the medium tire. That was his fast lap. So he will be starting last of the drivers that set a time. This is where it's going to get interesting, is where we see the strategy start to come into play. And the session is stuck at 1 second, so...
I think we just need Marlin to retire.
Ah.
Ooh, race.
And we will be back in just a moment, folks, as soon as we have got the session resumed. All right, and we are back, folks. The drivers setting off on their formation lap of this circuit. Lap 1 going to be very interesting because very short run down to turn 1, but then, Mad Marlin and Weiser Square hitting each other already. That's going to create some awkward conversations in the Williams garage after the race. To be a fly on the wall there. Anyway, so lap 1 is going to be interesting because it's got 2 very short straightaways to kick it off. 2 very tight 90-degree corners, created some incidents in Tier 1. that I was behind, just some very minor ones. Kind of caused a bit of a trickle-down effect through the pack. Then you got that massive straight down to turn 3. Very, very good if somebody gets hung out on the outside. You can slipstream them and get by them maybe into turn 3. Then it's going to switch back and go the other direction. You got the lap starting off with 3 lefts and then a right. And then everybody kind of has to file down to single file to get through the castle section. And then you get to the main straightaway and maybe get an opportunity to get a cheeky overtake done if somebody gets a little balked through the final corner. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully everybody makes it through in one piece, but I doubt it because let's face it, it's Buck.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing if anybody going in there to turn 3, if they decide to play it patient, it's only lap 1, or if someone decides to send it, I mean, it'd be in Tier 3, and what we've seen so far, a lot of clean drivers, but definitely some people that love to send it.
Hey, everybody loves it. Everybody loves a good send, me included. Hopefully you'll be seeing plenty of that in Canada. Actually, hopefully you'll be seeing a lot less of that in Canada because apparently I'm looking pretty good pace-wise already. But moving on, yeah, there are some people in this tier who do love to just lick the stamp and send it. But I think that this is going to be one of... Oh, Joe and Andrew. Wow. Made some contact there. So now we got 4 cars sitting on the grid towards the front with cold tires. That'll make things interesting. Good thing they've only got a very short run down to turn 1. So if they get a good jump off the line, this should be okay. Rawlings definitely looking in the best position for the start now, though.
All the way back there. The car's a little far back, but picking up the pace, getting to the grid as fast as possible here. And as you were talking about early on, don't start on the hard tire or try to avoid it by any means necessary. But you have 3 drivers, 16, 17, 18, Trace Me, Fluky, and Tampa, all trying that strategy as we get ready to race. 5 red
All right,
lights.
5 lights are on.
Maybe?
And away we go! Here we go. The lights went out on our screen for the drivers, obviously. 4 wide right there, mid-pack down to turn 1. Looks like everybody getting through pretty cleanly. Ooh, one of the Red Bulls running very wide. That, I believe, was Redeemer. Looks like everybody's made it through turn 1 with everything attached. We'll see how that goes for turn 2 down here. I'm not seeing any carbon fiber flying. A little bit of contact, though, as you would expect. Not really a whole lot of cars side by side anymore. Severe collision. Oh, we got a safety car out. Wow. Draghi Regano not moving off the grid there, it looks like. Nope, that's the safety car. What on earth was that for? Do a quick run through and see who's got what a cat. Yeah, they're both down there at the back.
Looks like maybe one of the Renaults? Like Loki might.
A full-on safety car. I mean, for crying out loud, if me clopping the wall through turn 8 on lap 1 didn't do it in the middle of the pack, I don't know what will.
Not sure exactly what happened, huh?
Yeah. The safety car mechanic still needs a little bit of spit and polish, but you're right. You've got Zampa, Fluky, and... Who else did you say was on the hard tire? Those. Oh, there it is.
It's Trace Me and...
Trace Me!
Clobbered
Just
the wall
put it
there.
in the wall. How do you... I never understand how these guys manage this, but they run into the wall and go off the track under safety car. And he just hit it again. So that wing's going to be written off. So apparently Fluky got rear-ended into turn 1. I'm not totally sure how that would have brought out the safety car because he's still ahead of the guy that ran into him. But yeah. So Trace Me going to be taking advantage of the safety car really quick here. Unfortunately, being on the hard tire, same position that I was, that kind of just ruins your whole race.
Yeah, indeed.
Now,
you
obviously,
can't even go far on your next tires.
Less so with him because he's got a safety car. I didn't even get that luxury. I just had to deal with it. As Fluky retires from the session.
Wow.
Interestingly. A lot of guys going into the pits here. 4 cars, including Marlin, Dark Eyes, Loki, and Guido all in the pits, as well as obviously Trace Me here. Trace Me having to take some very, very careful action to not hit the wall there. Lots of wing changes up and down the field. Dark Ice Racer being the first guy to get out. He's on the medium tire, so he is still planning on stopping again because I believe he started on the... Did he start on the soft or did he start on the medium?
Honestly,
I think he started on the soft. I think he started on the soft, but I think that's going to be a good move for him overall because now those guys have got a heat cycle on that soft tire up front, and that's not good for them around here. This will help them short term because they got less laps to run, but when you cycle the heat, when you do a heat cycle on the tires by getting them up to temperature and they cool off into the safety car, it's really just not good for the grip level. It usually results in some very gooey, icky tires to be rolling around on.
Absolutely, and I can't confirm that he did start on the softs there, Dark Ice Racer, so he's on the mediums. A lot of them on the hards, and then Trace Me starting on the hards goes in the mediums. But Dark Ice was the only one that pitted there that didn't have wing damage. I didn't see him change the wing, or maybe he has wing damage and didn't change the wing, not sure. But everybody else definitely changed their wing.
Okay, so I think we should see the safety car into the pit lane here at the end of this lap. Should get that message here momentarily once it crosses the Sector 2 timing line. This is going to be one of those interesting restarts here because there's not really a good corner between Rawlings and the start-finish line when that safety car just dips off. Maybe it's going to go another lap here. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like it. Everybody caught back up pretty quickly, but
or no, I think it literally it'll say it right here in just a moment if it's going to.
That looks like one more lap. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it usually goes a couple laps, but with everybody getting caught up right there, maybe. But yeah.
All right then. So one more lap under the safety car. That works out better for the guys.
Actually jumped in the pits.
Maybe looking to get off of that hard tire, put on a set of mediums. You can do the hard tires, not real.
As well. He may have been on the medium. Check here. He's actually on the soft, so he jumps to the hards. But he looked like he also changed his wing, so he had a little bit of wing damage as well. I guess he just missed it the first time. I'm not sure.
Yeah, possibly, but I think this puts him in a really good position because I think he might be able to stretch it out, but now he's made his mandatory stop. He does not have to stop and change tires again. Might not have the pace, really, and being stuck in traffic is not going to be really looking for with that, but ultimately it'll get him some track position as some of these guys are going to have to duck into the pits, but he's going to have to make short work of some of these cars in front of him, including Trace Me, Guyu, Loki, and Marlin, who have all stopped and put it on the hard tire. Except for Trace Me, obviously. You gotta love safety cars. So enthusiastically, you can tell we're real enthusiastic about safety cars. Have so much to talk about. At,
yeah, absolutely.
The end of turn 2 of the race.
There we go, safety car on this lap. Trace Me and Dark Ice not really in bad positions being on the mediums here.
No, they're not. I think obviously Dark Ice is in a much better position, but... Oh, and wow, hold on! Boostler is around at the exit of the final corner. What has happened here? DaCosta Brown, severe collision with the Racing Point. What on earth happened there? Rawlings just backing the pack up, and that's just... Everybody's accordioning down towards turn 1 here, I think.
Yeah, Boostler tried to pull off. Hopefully no penalties coming of that. Doesn't look like it.
Indeed. We'll see here in a few seconds if there are, but I doubt it. Just an unfortunate situation there for him.
Yeah, couldn't tell exactly what happened. Did you catch it there?
I didn't. I caught the tail end of it, but it looks like DaCosta Browns may have run into the back of him or possibly the other way around. which just ended up with Boostler being backwards there. Fortunate nobody else get caught up in that.
Oh, getting a little
back
hairy
out front
there. Turn 6. It loses about 3 spots in that one corner. Really crazy in the turn 7 there. Race.
Everybody kind of holding, crawling up on the back of his teammate. Not really going to be close enough, I don't think, but he may have a look down in. He's gaining a little bit down the straightaway due to the toe, I think, but not really going to be close enough for a move here, which it looks like they are. He's gaining a couple of tenths. Got another yellow flag at Sector 3. Looks like Groggy has hit the wall hard, knocked the wing off of it there at the final corner. He's on the soft, so he was going to have to pit anyway shortly, but you don't really. DeCosta Brown's leaving the session there. Could get him back in as soon as possible. He's currently in P6 as Weiser Square gets by his ghosted car. Don't want him losing out too much. You ever just lose something and you're digging around trying to find it and you're just like, where on earth did I put this? That's me right now.
Ends up being right there in your pocket.
Literally, except for the fact that it's not, and it's driving me nuts. I'm looking for my phone charger cable and trying to commentate a race at the same time, and hey, you guys knock this over. Put that back up. Anyway, so everything, Costa Brown's left the session again. So apparently something going on there with the Red Bull drivers' connection. Not really a whole lot going on here as we're looking at the two Haas cars pretty much running line astern, not really making a move here for Joe. This is a little bit on the entry to that final braking zone, gains a little bit back on the exit, and now he's got a good run on his teammate. Let's see what he can do here down to turn 1. He's going to have the slipstream really good here because he's only about 2 tenths behind him. Is he going to go for the move? He is going to go for the outside move. Rawlings defending on the left-hand side. He's going to give him the outside. Another yellow flag this time at the final corner. This time it looks like it is Loki, and he looks to be out of the session.
Not sure what happened. He comes
Car disappeared. Here, on the so
safety. Trying to see. People jumping into the pits here.
Flag. Trace Me has retired from the session at that same corner. To me, like we're losing them at about a lap, 1 per lap rate here through that corner as of late. That's the amazing part about the safety car system in this game is that literally have cars just hitting the wall at almost 200 miles an hour like that, and nothing happens except a local yellow flag. But somebody gets a nasty touch at turn 1 and keeps it pointed the right direction. Maybe somebody loses a piece of wing and we have a safety car, a full-blown safety car. Makes 0 sense.
Mm-hmm. I'm starting to think, maybe not Andrew getting caught up in anything, but he may have just pit pretty early compared to everybody else. I think he's actually on 2 lap old mediums. It says 0, but I think he's already gone a whole lap on them.
Yeah, it's a little bit, that's another little annoying thing about this particular game, is that sometimes it does not always register the amount of laps on the tires correctly. Back out at the front, Rawlings has... So Rawlings pit already. Got to imagine Joe is in the pits this lap, as is Face Taste.
And Andrew's actually attacking Rawlings right now. Heat Wave holding him up a little bit, but Andrew's going right around both of them, it looks like. Overtake and DRS activated.
Speaking of overtaking, Guido passes Carrillo for what is momentarily the lead in the Racing Point. Silkweaver staying out as well on those mediums in third place. And Joe coming out just behind in front of SSR Zampa, who is now up to P5 on his hards. He's going to want to latch onto the back of Joe.
Rawlings and Andrew, three corners side by side, just both going at it, really want this lead.
They do, but Joe's ahead of them. He's already stopped, and that is just letting him get farther and farther and farther away.
Oh yeah, Joe actually crazy gap on him from all that fighting. I didn't even notice.
Yep, he's 2 positions farther up the road and a good 4 seconds in front of Andrew. So yeah, so far, surprisingly, not a lot of people tagging the wall there through turn 8. Rawlings runs a bit over the curve there. It looks like Andrew has got more pace. He is on the medium tire at the moment, so that's to be expected. Andrew looking to close down the gap to SSR Zampa and then to Joe, who are both on the hard tire. Zampa going to be looking for that safety car towards the end of the race to save him and get him in on some shorter time than the rest of these guys. Maybe pick up a few spots that way. That was the intended effect for pretty much everybody who runs that strategy here, is just hope for that safety car and run the thing as long as it'll go without blowing up. Or without losing a ton of positions, as Joe now passes Silkweaver, so that's another position to Joe, as he's now right almost on the back of Q-Man, P2, and he can see the lead of the race just about 2 seconds in front of him, 2.5 seconds. LDR Redeemer's taking a fast lap of the race. Boostler now taking that away. Way down here in 12th and 13th for these guys, so that's not going to get them any extra points at the moment. So we'll see what happens with that later on. You do have to finish in the top 10 to get that extra point for the fastest lap. This is going to be the interesting phase of the race, where we got guys on different strategies, different tires, all right around one another. And this is going to be where Joe has to be patient. He needs to just sit there and wait behind Q-Man until that main straight. I know that the guy in front's getting away right now a little bit. He's going to actually go for the move up the next straightaway here. And he does get the move done on Q-Man.
Oh, Zampa lost the back end, was able to save it, gets passed by Rawlings and Cletus. But just before that, Andrew actually passes him going around at turn 8 and really held up Rawlings and Cletus there. Looking back, I was trying to see the battle between the 2 Red Bulls, and Costa goes really wide, turn 1, loses half his wing. Unfortunate there for him.
Oh, yep. Yep. So Heat Wave going to have to make his way back to the pits with about half the wing on the car. It's not a very easy thing to do with the whole wing on the car here around this track. Even less so when there's pieces missing off of it.
Gotta say, Andrew was trying his best to make his way through these couple cars in between him and Joe and see if he can gain some ground, but it is taking a lot of time, and his tires are just gonna die lap after lap. Gotta get a move on if he really wants to be able to get there. Does have a great run here on the straight. See if he can get both of them here. Going up the middle, this is kind of crazy here from Andrew. A great lunge, just great on the braking, able to pass both of them there. Great passes there from Andrew.
Trying to carry on two conversations at once here. Anyway, back to what I'm supposed to be doing here. Joe closing down on the back of ARS Guido in the Haas at the front here. Only about 2.7 seconds. Guido done a pretty good job here to maintain his composure on those hard tires.
He-Man and Silk going at it here through turn 6 and now into 7 here. And Cetus has joined the party and he goes right in between them. And that gets a good little outside move there through 7. And Rawlings, unfortunately, getting really held up there by Q-Man. Whoa!
Oh!
Even loses the back end there.
Yep, that's very easy to do. Not going to help you out there. Honestly, that's one of the things about this track that I've noticed is that the rear end around here is just really unstable for some reason. No matter what you do, it just will not settle down, and you just can't apply the throttle to save your life around here at low speeds.
Not sure what happened there to Q-Man. It looks like he almost somewhat brake checked there. I'm not sure exactly what it was. May have just lost the back end a little bit himself. Almost catches Rawlings, but Rawlings now on the straight going for the pass as Q-Man dives into the pits.
He does dive into the pits. He can stretch those mediums out to the end here. He's only got to do 14 laps on them. Fairly easy to do. Considering it's only a 26-lap race, the medium will easily do half the distance of the race, even if you are stretching it. Silkweaver gets a bit of a bad exit there. Rawlings is going to pretty much just steam by him. I really hate this that camera view where it's literally the center of the screen is looking right at the right side of the halo. It's like, why do we have that camera? It does nothing. You can't see anything. Yellow flag in Sector 1. It looks
like one of the Williams.
Like Weiser Square has gone. I think you just can't see. Probably should have done that much down here at Turn 5 on Saturday night, but tried to make the corner anyway because I didn't realize quite exactly how late it was going into that corner.
Dark Ice is caught up to Silkweaver here. Silkweaver actually throwing a little bit of a block. But he is going to let Dark
I think
Ice
he's moving off the racing line to give him the spot, not fight that too much because he is on 7-lap pressure mediums, which is a pretty big difference around here. Tire wear is pretty significant around here as far as pace drop off. So that 7 laps is going to, you can just see even now he's already drawn away almost a full second after just a couple of corners and getting ever closer to the back of Zampa in front of him, as looks like Face Taste now hits the pit lane again, actually. So he's got some damage somewhere he's fixing. Not sure what happened there. He didn't catch it, unfortunately.
Yeah, but he can definitely make it to the end there.
He is taking a look on Silkweaver there. Nothing happening there. Going to get DRS down the straightaway. Should be a pretty straightforward move. Going to go to the outside here. Got to say that's probably the smart move because it gives you the ability to pinch the driver on the inside down a little bit, kind of hamper their corner exit a little, and get a good run yourself, whilst also simultaneously setting yourself up to have the inside for the next corner. So you can just get a good exit, get ahead, run a little deep, and then pretty much just block them off at the apex. So Dark Eyes up to P5, about 4.5 seconds behind Rawlings, but gotta wonder if these guys on the mediums are gonna have to stop again to make it to the end. Speaking of guys who are going to have to stop again. Guys who have yet to stop include Guido, who is now only about a second in front of Joe. Joe has pulled up that gap now really close as Guido gets a bit of a bad exit there. Coming on the fresh straightaway, I got to believe Joe's going to be able to make this move for the lead pretty easily.
I'm not sure what happened there. It was standing at about a 2-second gap for a couple laps there, and I looked back up after about 2 sectors, and it was down to 1.1. So I don't know if Guido made a mistake or whatever happened, but definitely caught up a lot of time.
Yeah,
he even pulled away from Andrew at the same time.
Yeah, I think he got just a little bit of a bad exit there off one corner. Oddly enough, Joe choosing to wait to get by the racing point might be a smart move because he really wasn't close enough to make that move effectively anyway. So maybe this is going to be a little bit better opportunity down the back straightaway. He's got the overtake engaged, DRS open. He's going to have to go for the inside here. I don't think that's really the way he wants to go about it, but it's the way he's going to have to go about it. Gets the inside, gets ahead by the apex of the corner. Job done. Next customer, please.
There are no more now.
Exactly. Fresh out of customers, closed for the day. Bye-bye. So barring anything else happening, touch wood, I think Joe has pretty much got this wrapped up with a bow on top at this stage because the guy behind him, Andrew, is on the medium tire. That tire is going to start going away towards the end of the race if he runs it to the end. I don't think he will. I think he'll double stop and put on another set of the mediums, but Joe's pretty much just going to have to be in cruise control mode at this stage.
Yeah, right there in the pit stop stages, he just, with all the battling behind him, he gets that little bit of a gap, and he's able to clear the traffic pretty easily without any real harm to his pace, and just able to, keep it going. And as you say, just the closest driver in relative to pit stops and everything is
relative strategies.
Yeah, and that's a 14-second gap. So
yeah. That just shows how big a thing traffic is, and I personally cannot wait for the 2022 cars because just that reduction in dirty air, being able to follow people and actually race people and maybe make a move stick, is going to bring these fields so much closer together. I think because you don't get stuck in traffic as much after a pit stop. You'll be able to come out behind a guy and instead of being stuck in his dirty air, actually dispose of him and get by. We're going to look down here at Redeemer, who's on the back of Silkweaver he's coming into the pit lane now. So, never mind!
You find a battle closest on the track and poof, it's over.
Yep, literally find the closest battle on the track, which was the only one within a second, and the guy behind decides to pit. Okay. Okay, bud. So we'll just continue to look up here at Andrew, who's actually closing down on Guido now. That's not confusing at all. Too many oohs in here.
No, not enough
guys. Exactly. Too many oohs, not enough ahs. Then you got the opposite problem in Tier 1. You got too many ahs and not enough oohs. That's a joke for our Australian friends, Jared, Ryan. Well, Jared's the Australian, Ryan's a Kiwi. Forgive me there, Ryan. I know for a fact you were a Kiwi. Forgive me. Everybody does it every once in a while, but at least I caught myself. Everybody else doesn't catch themselves. But from the land down under in the neighboring island.
Silkweaver actually.
Tier 1 is...
in half a second here is Zampa, P7, P6 here, a little battle.
Ooh, getting a little spicy. 14-lap medium versus a 14-lap hard. Looks like Silk has still got everything going his way.
Except for that ERS.
Yeah, burning a little bit of that, and by a little, I mean all of it. It's not going to be doing him any favors. Getting down towards the line here, I think he just honestly might be better off just pretty much sitting there behind him, running that car as low as possible as far as ERS that he can, which effectively amounts to just not using the overtake button like that. Just use the DRS to try and stay within touching distance of him and try to generate some battery back because it's just... The ERS is one of those things that once you've burned it, it's extremely hard to get it back. that's one thing I think a lot of these guys struggle with, is they'll overuse the ERS, especially in a situation like this. They'll use it to get on the back of a guy, and then by the time they get up to him, they got nothing left to work with. And I'm guilty of this, but you really almost want to just not use it at all when you're closing up on the back of a guy. Just let it build up until you are actually ready to make that pass, and then just it off. You know you're close. Just he's going to be using it to try and be trying to conserve a little bit, so he's got something to work with. He was right on the fresh quick run.
In there and hands it right back.
Here,
Rawlings for trying to
back. That's not fair. Person. Red Bull.
Oh! The back end.
Eddie as they come in as soon as pop. So Guido now up into P2. I gotta say, he's a pretty darn good race. Joe's running really good. Guido has done a pretty darn job here. Deemer retires from the session. Result he was looking for out of it.
And Guido early on making that extra pit stop, able to take those hard, pretty far race there on the softs here.
Yeah.
Smallest mistake could get.
It really could, because he's just absolutely cruising along, and just I think he's already pulled a couple of seconds off of Joe, and he's just continuing to pull time off. And if he can keep this pace up, which it'll be difficult as the tires start to go off, he might even have a chance at getting up to Joe or getting close to him, which if Joe collects a couple of time penalties, which nobody's really seemed to collect any time penalties this race, from what I can see, that could play a big factor in things as well. So that's fast lap at a 142.035. So that, I think, is going to be pretty unassailable, except by maybe a couple of the guys further back who have had trouble, who should be towards the front of the field here. As looks like Dark Eyes into the pits here. Only going to lose one spot to Mixed Face Taste. Going to go on the soft tire and possibly try to get that fast lap away from Guido.
Marlon right there, though, on his outside. He is on a lot fresher tires, but he cut it close.
Yeah, he did. He cut it very close. I believe he may have been able to get by Marlon, even if he was behind him on that this straightaway right here, just because being on fresh tires compared to 13 lap old mediums. And with DRS, I think that would have been a pretty easy move for him to make. Trying to find... Oh, yeah. So we still got that fight going on for... It is now 9th place. As Rawlings rejoins the session in 3rd place. Still got 3 cars in this fight. You got DaCosta, Weiser, and Boostler all squabbling over the final 2 points paying positions. And I think Weiser's actually got some wing damage. Now I'm looking at it. He does. He's got a lot of wing damage, actually. So Weiser's sort of flying backwards to the field. Not the direction he wants to be going. So Boostler should be able to get by him pretty easily here. But he's got to be patient, just not get greedy trying to chase after DaCosta. The car in front's got no way. Oh, and he runs way deep at turn 8. Weiser square does, so that's just going to put an end to that. ARS Boostler now released onto the back of DaCosta Browns, but he's got Silkweaver on a brand new set of softs right behind him. And the McLaren just trying to claw his way up into the points at the end of the race, maybe pick up another spot as DaCosta is not that far up the road. Silkweaver just really needs to make this move go now and make it stick. Down the far straightaway, he's going to be right on the back of the racing point. No overtake on that McLaren, though. He's got the button engaged, but the battery's empty. So it's going to be down to DRS. Boostler got a little bit to work with. I think he's just going to err on the side of caution for that and not burn it up and maybe try to get him back on the next straightaway. Silkweaver sweeps across in front. Job done. I think he's going to be a little bit too far away to get on that next straightaway, just due to the fact that his tires are so much better than Boostler's right now. Yeah, 8/10 is going to be a big ask even from the racing point to make that move back in the next corner. So Silkweaver running on no battery, but he is moving quickly on to the back of DaCosta Browns. It was only about 2 seconds off of Heatwave for P8, so this is shaping up quite nicely to give us a couple of last lap battles if things continue on this way. Looking back up towards the field, looks like Facetace is all over the back of Rawlings for P3 here. So we may still yet see a Ferrari on the podium.
And I gotta say, Guido, he's taken 2 seconds a lap so far out of Joe's lead. He is, I believe, within 8 seconds at the end of this lap. It's not showing me the interval, but yeah, 8.6 seconds.
8.6, so he is getting coming. There. He's getting there, but you got to wonder where the cliff's going to come in. Where is that pace cliff going to fall off at? As we see Facetace making a move down the front straightaway, overtake engaged, DRS engaged, and job done before they even get to the start-finish line. It's a good job there. So Facetace up in P3, Rawlings to P4. Looking down at that.
Oh, Heatwave with a little bit of damage. DaCosta's going to go right around. Whoa.
Or is he? Kind of gets a little balked and has to back off. That's going to give Silkweaver a run around the driver. Or is it?
No overtake, and the DRS looks like DaCosta able to stay ahead.
Yeah,
Silk possibly on the pressure softs. Whoa, gets a way out wide, but
these guys are going a little crazy over this right now.
And that little crazy party they were having boosted right back in the action, only 7/10 back.
Indeed, so you gotta think that
four-car train.
Oh, DaCosta gonna go to the left-hand side, back out of it, as Heatwave just continues to hold cars up. A whole lot of passing opportunities. He's pretty much just parking it on the apex, taking the Monaco approach, as looks like DaCosta gets a nose in on the inside. Is he going to send it up the inside at turn 7? No, he does not. Falls back in the line. It's just in front of Silkweaver, which that's got to be starting to get on Silkweaver's nerves. He's seeing the car in front poke his nose out repeatedly as Guido resets the fast lap at a 141.6. He's seeing the car in front poke his nose out to try and get by the car in front of them repeatedly and just not do it.
Yeah, we're from all this holding up from
Heatwave. Frustrating.
Sorry to cut you off. Marlon's actually caught up the whole 3 seconds. He's also now in this battle.
They go 3 wide. Going down into, they do, and bit of contact there between Silkweaver and Heatwave, just pretty much turning in on him. Not really sure what that was all about, but they're going to try and, I believe, go side by side. Nope, not going to be that silly. Heatwave keeping it out of the wall, even with part of the wing missing. And they're thinking about going 3 wide again down the main straightaway here. This is just getting very interesting. They are going to go 3 wide, and Silkweaver's just going to get swallowed up in the middle here with no ERS. He just needs to stay off that button. Like, he really just, he just needs to stay off the overtake button.
Wow, Marlon was P11.
I'm seeing it.
What a jump to
yeah,
P8.
now he's up to P8, looking at P7. So, big jump right there from the Williams driver. Just, all I got to say to that is wow. And Heatwave runs very deep. That's going to allow Boostler to get a move done, I think, around the outside of turn 4 here. Heatwave runs him a little deep, kind of runs in the side of him. Kind of got to, I think he should be giving that spot up after that, considering he just about pushed him into the wall. Heatwave putting up a very rigid defense here with a damaged car. It's very ungentlemanlike, if you ask me, to do that. Personally, after I damaged my car on lap 1, you can ask several people, I pretty much just pulled to the outside on the way to the final corner of Sector 2 and just kind of let everybody that was still behind me go, which was subsequently followed by my teammate almost yeeting Meanfern into Narnia. But, yeah. Heatwave. Oh! And needless to say, Boostler, probably not too appreciative of Heatwave's antics there, just decides to finish the job and take his wing off. Possibly.
Sorry not to interrupt, but Guido, I guess he got in the wall. I saw him losing a little bit of time, but he has re-pit, and he is now back to P4 behind Rawlings.
He is, but as quick as he is, and a brand new set of softs here at the end, I don't think he'll have any trouble getting back to P2. He just needs to dispose of Rawlings very quickly here. Sends it up the inside. Rawlings actually almost turns in on him. Rawlings, silly thing to do. To go through, because he's obviously going to be way quicker than you on those brand new softs when you're on. As Silkweaver retires from the session in the pit lane. So that's all that yellow flag is for. Heatwave retiring from the session as well.
I wonder if they kind of got together there.
Well, they were spread out enough, and I think he did it in the pit lane. Weiser's right now with the fastest lap at a 141.4. Currently down in P11 and about 26 seconds off of the next car, which is not going to get him an extra point. So we'll see if Guido can reclaim that fast lap. He's closing down very rapidly on Max Space Station P2. So I think he'll be able to get that fastest lap time back. But yeah, he was a lot farther up the road than this, and now just not really able to do much with Joe. I think if he did, I think the tires were starting to go off and he was still trying to push a little too hard. May have just got himself in a little bit of trouble.
But a 2-second gap, and straight's not going to be too different between the tires, but in these corners, I definitely think he can definitely catch up a lot here. Let's see if he can get the job done for P2.
Yeah, I think he won't have any issue with it with only 2 laps left, only 2 seconds behind, and closing that down rapidly. Just kind of needs to be patient. Just remember that through Sector 2, that's pretty much going to get him there alone, and then just pretty much try to save as much ERS as possible and see if he can't get to him.
He does have to play a little cautious.
Final straightaway.
He does have 2 warnings. Cetus with none. So,
yeah.
Definitely going to be able to
pretty hard
catch up. But,
pretty hard track to pick up time penalties on, to be honest. Not a whole lot of places you can go off without hitting a wall.
Plays it cautious through turn 7. That was the one I was pretty much worried about him potentially getting a penalty.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only one you really can. Everything else, that one right there, turn 10 as well, on the exit and the inside. You can pick one up, but it's pretty difficult to do.
He has saved plenty of ERS here for the straight. I definitely think he can get the job done.
Yeah, the question is, does he want to wait for that second straightaway or even for the final lap down this front straightaway to try and make that move, just to make sure that there's not a chance Space Stace can possibly get back by him?
He is jumped on the overtake button.
I don't think he's little wing damage. That's exactly what he needed to not do. Looks like Zampa may have hit the wall, I think, in turn 8.
Still set the fastest
lap. He did. Yeah, Guido does get the fastest lap. Now the question is, he's on the outside.
Back on the inside.
Gonna try to send it up the inside.
Send it. A lot of contact there.
That's real questionable, shall we say? Really kind of just chucked it off in there and hoped it stuck, and Face Taste kind of just was minding his own business, in my opinion there. And then all of a sudden, a wild Guido appeared on his inside. That's the thing. You kind of have to advertise that you're gonna do that, and that's the thing about these guys, is that I've noticed this about a lot of people. They seem to think that if somebody advertises that they're going to go to the inside, so i.e. they pull off to one side well before the corner, which I'm a big proponent of doing this. If I'm going to make a move, I'm not going to wait until we literally get to the corner to try and do it. It's just not how I race.
Sorry to cut you off, but Picasso Boosler. Oh, Q-Man with the fastest lap.
Yeah, Q-Man takes fastest lap. Currently in
Picasso
12th, so that'll be
switching positions, and they've been together practically the whole entire race, you know. But
pretty much same tires here. Boosler does not have damage, and DaCosta, I believe, he is missing the right front end plate. So I think that battle is pretty much all said and done. SSR Joe has won the race in the Haas, 26 seconds clear of this battle for P2. Face is going to be a little bit far back for a move. Really don't even see why Guido's trying to break the slipstream here, because he's not going to have enough time to get to him. So, yeah. Pretty uneventful race for Joe out front. Yeah, pretty great overall race. Great drive from Guido. Even picking up that damage towards the end there, still recovering to P2. Good job from him. Good job from Max Space Taste as well to maintain P3 through all of that. His teammate probably kicking himself a little bit, had to make that extra pit stop. Could have easily, I think, had P2 in this race if he hadn't had to do that, because he's only about 15 seconds off of it right as we speak. And Q-Man does have fast lap of the race, I believe. DaCosta Brown's serving 5 extra seconds for an unserved time penalty.
Shouldn't matter though, as Wise Square coming to finish off our points finishers, and he's 20 odd seconds back, or 18, so.
And showing there the fastest laps of each driver. I think that's a habit we need to get into, especially with the issues we suffered in Tier 1, where the lobby pretty much just destroyed itself instantaneously after about 3/4 of the points finishers finished the race, and ARS Guido picking up the driver of the day for obvious reasons. I believe he started pretty much almost shotgun on the field, and
yes, sir, 19th. A great race.
So he did start shotgun on the field. Then he started dead last. So gotta feel pretty good about that. SSR Joe accepting the winner's trophy there on the podium. And now for the champagne.
Yeah, definitely got to give driver of the day to Guido for coming from, like, how you say, shotgun all the way to P2, but definitely second in that voting would be Joe. Just a great drive.
Exactly, just a nice controlled drive the entire race. Guido, though, gave him a run for the money there towards the end. If he had to make that extra pit stop under green there, I believe he would have definitely had a chance at getting Joe for the win. But unfortunately just didn't quite go that way for him. Podium finishers, SSR Joe, ARS Guido, and Mex Facetace in the Ferrari rounding off the podium. Toxin, do you want to handle the podium interviews tonight?
I'll take. I always like taking that P2. You know, you always have the good questions for third and first, but I always like having that silver guy.
You just want to talk to Guido.
That's right.
All right, fair enough. Let's get these guys in here and get this show on the road. Or should I say, let's get this post-race show on the road. As I continue to just look around somewhat bewilderingly for my phone charger, which I've been now looking for a good probably 20 minutes.
And just realized I'm watching the stream back. Fastest lap did go to Q-Man, so no one will get the extra point for that. But you know, just again, great overall race. Loved all the quite a few 4-car battles back halfway back in the pack throughout the race, and good racing up front as well.
All right, so now we will just wait for those guys to get into the party, make sure their audio gets included. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and kick it off here. Joe, make sure you include your audio.
Yep.
All right, so Mr. Race winner at Baku, you survived the gauntlet that is this circuit. Pretty quiet race from the looks of it. Started from, I believe, P2.
Yep.
I think your teammate had pole. I couldn't remember which one he was in front, but I know you locked up the front row. His race didn't quite go the way that yours did, but how do you feel about that? Pretty quiet race, nice, easy, almost lights the flag victory.
Yeah, I had pretty good pace. I mean, the safety car lap 1 kind of just like it made the tire situation the first stint a little bit easier. The tires didn't wear as much because of the 2 laps we did on the safety car, and then the final stint I was pretty much in the lead for like the whole time, like over 10 seconds in the lead.
Indeed you were. Guido was closing down on you there after his pit stop. Did you think there was maybe a chance if he didn't damage the car and have to make another pit stop that he could have possibly gotten to you?
I wasn't really pushing. I had like 90% ERS. I was just like cruising down. I was prepared to battle him towards the end of the race, but he pit again, damaged his car, I guess, and I just pretty much walked across the finish line.
Sometimes that's the best way to do it, especially at a track like Baku. You want to have zero pressure on you. That way you can just focus on not hitting the wall, especially the extra difficult castle section. I say castle section, castle alley is more like it. Congratulations on a very, very, very dominant win for yourself and for the Haas team.
Thank you.
Well, try to get these other two in here in just a second. I guess we may be stuck with one? Question mark? Well, I guess that's going to do us here. I just invited him in here, and I guess that's going to do us for podium interviews here at Baku. This has been Ferrari 94 and Toxin HV for the Breakout Racing League. We'll see you all back here in 7 days' time for Canada, one of my favorite tracks. We'll see how that goes on Saturday night on my end. And then we'll see how it goes for these guys on Monday. Y'all have a good week.